What's happening YouTube? This is Champion 2D Rob back again with another video, and this time it is going to be another pickups video. This is the part 2 to my pickups video. This is going to be basically all my movies that I've picked up on Blu-ray, and I've got a couple on DVD as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll get started. So first thing I wanted to bring up is I bought a couple of DVDs here. Now these are actually some retro animated stuff from my childhood, and what I did pick up was Cops, the complete series. So yeah, really cool show from back in the day. I remember I used to watch this show as a kid during the summer holidays. It used to be on ITV in the mornings. Yes, I think it was on ITV. I can't quite remember, but I do remember watching this show on TV back in the day, in the early 90s, very early 90s. I think it might have been 1990 or 91, possibly, maybe earlier. I can't remember, but yeah, I definitely remember watching this during the summer holidays. And so yeah, so basically this is like the complete series. It's got 2 volumes. It's first volume has got episodes 1 to 32, and this has got episodes 33 to 65. So this is actually the complete series. Now I actually had the first half of the series. I had like a collector's edition which I bought a long time ago, and there is actually a second part to that, but I was going to buy it initially. It's out of print now, obviously, because this is like the reissue. I went to buy it off a seller of eBay, but I kind of realized that I was able to get both of these together for basically the same price, or even a little bit cheaper than if I just got the second part of the original release. So I just decided to go for this reissue. Yeah, just further additions to my 80s sort of cartoon collection. I do sort of pick up for the old school stuff, as well as some 90s stuff as well, but mostly sort of the 80s cartoons of my childhood. So it's great to have these additions, and also nice to have them fully complete. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Blu-rays, and the first thing I'm going to bring up a couple of TV shows here. First one is, and this might be a point of contention for some people, and that's Game of Thrones, the final season, the 8th season now. Everyone knows, basically, everyone has sort of feelings about the last season of Game of Thrones. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm right there with you. I felt the season was rushed. Yeah, they really rushed it. I don't blame the actors. I blame the showrunners. They just decided to basically jump out of doing this, and they wanted to finish it off as quickly as possible. And it definitely showed in this final season. But why I wanted to pick it up was because I have the rest on Blu-ray, and I just wanted to finish off the series. I know this did leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. It definitely wasn't the way it should have ended. It really should have gone on for another couple of seasons. But, you know, these guys wanted to rush it out. Yeah, it's not a great season at all. It has some good shining moments in it, but ultimately it was a very rushed and poorly developed series. And it's a shame that Game of Thrones went out that way, but, you know, it is what it is. And the next show I picked up is Supernatural Season 14. Now, I did bring up Supernatural in the Part 1 Blu-ray pickups vid, because there was like they did like an anime adaptation of the show. And so this is basically the Season 14 of the live-action series. It did actually finish recently. It rounded off at Season 15. So 15 years, that's a really good run for a show. That's an awesome run for a show. And I'm finally getting around to watching Season 14, as I had Seasons 1 to 13 on Blu-ray. I absolutely adore this show. This is a really cool action show. I highly recommend people take a look at Supernatural if you haven't seen it already. It really is a really well told show. It has its misses throughout the years, but I would definitely say the first 5 years of this show are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. After that, it kind of wavers a little bit, but it's mostly been a hit show in my opinion. So yeah, glad to get that. Okay, so now we're just moving straight on to some films, and let's just get a pile here. So first up here, now I wanted to get this because the second film in the series has yet to get a Blu-ray release, and I wanted both films on Blu-ray, and I just couldn't really wait. And what I got was the Bill and Ted films. So this is a compilation. This is Bill and Ted's. This is just known as Bill and Ted's most excellent collection. So this obviously has Bill and Ted 1 and 2, and does this have? I know this has some extras. I'm trying to think if this has any episodes of the cartoon. It might do. I don't see it here. Maybe it does. But anyway, it's nice to have both Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey on Blu-ray, because here in the UK only Excellent Adventure has a Blu-ray release, and the pictures are stunning. This has loads of features, and I believe it even came with like it came with some extra goodies. I think it also came with a little Wild Stallions guitar pick, which I thought was quite cool, as well as some cards and whatnot. Bit of extra features there, but yeah, just really nice to have. And I can actually see here it also has a reversible cover, which is really cool. It's the I'll just take it out here quickly if I can get it out. Yeah, so on the other side you've got the covers to Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey, which is really cool. So I'll just put that back in. So yeah, leave it like that. Okay, so moving on. Here's a really cool film, one I used to watch back in the day. You don't hear of this film much, but I definitely recommend people check it out. And that is Toy Soldiers. And this is a really, really cool action film. It's basically it's set like in a boarding school. And basically these terrorists sort of take over the boarding school. It's basically Die Hard in a boarding school, really. And it's basically a group of students that go up against the terrorists. I think, if I remember correctly, it was basically, I think one of the kids in the boarding school was the son of like some political leader or something. And they were trying to like hold him hostage. But it's a really cool action film that stars Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings fame. Really, really cool movie. Definitely recommend people check it out. I think it's a hidden gem. Next film I want to bring up here, and again, this is another one of those underrated films I feel not a lot of people bring up nowadays, and that is The Fly 2. And this film for me is a fantastic movie. It's the sequel to David Cronenberg's The Fly, but whereas that film is a bit more cerebral, a bit more, I don't want to say pretentious because that's not the right word. It's a really good movie, but this one is a lot more B movie. It's definitely a creature feature, and it's very enjoyable. The practical effects in this film are amazing. I mean, they're definitely as good as the practical effects in the original The Fly. I definitely watch this more than the original, and just because I find it to be more of a just more rewatchable, because I think the first film was quite hard to stomach in some parts, but this film was just a lot of fun to watch, and I definitely recommend people check out The Fly too. It really is a great film. And okay, so next couple of films I've got here. Now, I forgot to mention right at the start, basically a lot of these films are about a year's worth of pickup, so like they won't bought in the space of a month or even 2 or 3 months. These are definitely about over a year's worth of pickup, so it's worth pointing out. I know because I picked these up a long time ago and I still haven't even got around to watching them, but I've seen them already. And I got the Region 1 release of Robocop II. So this is the collector's edition. This has not received a Blu-ray in the UK yet for some reason. So I wanted to get this. This has got loads of extra features, and that's primarily what I bought this for, because it's got some really decent. It's got like a brand new audio commentary. brand new features, just a lot of brand new stuff that I haven't seen before. So that's really why I wanted to pick this up. I want to point out I absolutely adore Robocop 2. I love it as much as the original. I don't think it's as good as the original, but I do really enjoy this film. And I never really understood the hate. That being said, I'm aware of some of its failings, but it's not enough to really for me to deter it. Like, some people just do not like this film, which is fair enough. But I don't really see why. I think it's almost as good as the original in some ways. I mean, sure, the story isn't quite sophisticated. The concept of wanting to put the brain of a criminal into a super robot is absolutely stupid. I won't deny that, but still, I found this to be a really enjoyable watch. And for me, Robocop 1 and 2 go hand in hand. Like, I love them both. So yeah, tough to get that. And of course, I also picked up Robocop 3. Now, this film is not good. This film is terrible. So you're wondering, why did I pick it up? Well, I picked it up because I wanted it for the special features. And the reason why I wanted it for the special features is because I do know a little bit about this film. And basically, I know the guy that directed it. His name is Fred Dekker. Now, Fred Dekker actually made a couple of movies that I absolutely love. He made The Monster Squad and he made Night of the Creeps. Two really cool monster sort of B movies. And Monster Squad is basically the Goonies with monsters. And I really enjoyed those films. And this was basically the last film he made. This film really taxed him. I think it really sort of put him off directing films, because he had a lot of bad experiences trying to make this film. There was a lot of pressure from the studio and whatnot. So again, this has like a lot of documentaries and retrospectives and stuff like that, and that's what really interests me. Like, I'm very interested in the making of this film, because it was such a controversial film at the time. It even got shelved for a couple of years. And yeah, but the movie itself is terrible. It's not a good film at all. It was watered down to appeal to a teen audience. Yeah, it really wasn't good. And of course, Peter Weller, the original actor that played Robocop, did not return for this film, which is sad. But you know, it's still a curiosity for me to have. And when I was buying Robocop 2, I thought I may as well go for this one as well. Because of the extra features. So yeah. Okay, and let's see, got that already, spoke about that. Okay, next couple of films here. So next film I've got here is Waterworld. So this is from Arrow, and I initially missed out on the first release of this, and I thought I missed out on it completely, because it kind of went out of print for a while. But then I think Arrow put out these sort of standard releases, which is fine. I mean, I don't really care about getting the extra stuff, but I did wish I sort of picked up on it sooner. But I actually really enjoy Waterworld. I know it was considered a flop at the time, because it was like at the time this film came out, it was basically the most expensive film ever made, and it was a critical and commercial flop. I did actually see this at the cinema back in the 90s. In the mid-90s, I think it was 95 when this film came out, and I really did enjoy it. I think it's a nice sort of Mad Max kind of film, but on the ocean. And what's cool about this release is it actually has two or three director's cuts. So you've got the theatrical cut, and you've got what they call the Ulysses cut, which is basically like a European extended cut. So I'll be interested to see that. I've actually not gotten around to watching this yet, but it's got loads of extra features. I mean, Arrow do a fantastic job with their Blu-ray releases, and yeah, this is definitely a cool one to have. And I've actually never owned this film in any previous format before, for some strange reason, even though I've always enjoyed it. I love watching this film when it comes on. So in any case, very, very happy to get this release. And the next one I have here, this is a really cool film I remember watching back in the day. I have actually not seen this film in years, so I don't even know if it's even going to hold up. But when I was a kid, I really shouldn't have been watching this when I was a kid, but I did. And the film is called Vamp, and it is an 80s movie. It's an 80s movie about vampires. I think it's in a strip club, about a bunch of guys that go to a strip club, and the strip club is basically run by vampires. And it stars Grace Jones. If anyone remembers Grace Jones, she was in Conan the Destroyer, and she was also a Bond girl. She was in one of the Bond films. I can't remember which one. And really cool actress. She was like a model turned actress. And yeah, I just remember this film being really cool. Although, like I say, I haven't watched this film in years, so I have no idea if it's even going to hold up. But I remember liking the movie when I was a kid. Next film here. Now, this is actually a kids' film that I actually watched back in the day, and I really loved it. And that was Little Monsters. And this is an 80's movie starring Fred Savage from the Wonder Years. I was a big Fred Savage fan growing up as a kid. I loved the Wonder Years. Everyone knows of the film The Wizard. Loved that movie. And this was another one of those films that I also watched regularly as a kid in the late 80s and early 90s. Fred Savage basically stars as this kid who is visited by a monster underneath his bed. And essentially what it is that the monster comes out of sort of like a portal that is situated under all kids' beds, under the beds of kids, and he eventually befriends the monster, and the monster takes him to his world and stuff. It's a really cool sort of fantasy kids film, and it's one that I just enjoyed a lot. And I've just seen this on sale for a while, and I just wanted to make sure I picked it up, because with these sort of cult films, you just don't know if it's going to go out of print or not, because they generally don't tend to generate a large audience in terms of sales. So I just thought I'd just pick it up. One I really did enjoy back in the day. Next film I've got here, this is a really cool one, and again another one I used to watch as a kid and really did enjoy, and that is Tales of the Crypt, Demon Knight. And this is a movie I used to watch in the 90s. It's part of the Tales of the Crypt live action TV show, and it's a really cool film. I've seen there was another Tales of the Crypt film called Bordello of Blood. I actually watched that not too long ago for the first time and thought it was absolute shite. But this film is a really fun movie about a demon hunter, and he's being chased by this demon. He gets cornered basically in this hotel, and all chaos ensues, as you'd imagine. But it's really funny. It stars Billy Zane, who is really quite memorable in this film. He was really enjoying this role, and it's a really cool film. And this again has a lot of special features. I believe this is a Shout Factory. No, I can't see who made this, but in any case, it's got loads of special features. This is a Region 1 release, but I'm very glad to get this one, because I have a lot of nostalgic memories for this film. I remember watching this late night in the 90s. Really did enjoy this one. Next film I have here is Van Damme's The Quest, and I believe this to be one of Van Damme's most underrated movies. I think he directed this film, if I'm not mistaken. It's basically set like in the 1920s, and Van Damme gets sent to a tournament on an island. It's almost like Mortal Kombat-ish, but not violent in any way, nothing like that. But the fight scenes are really cool. It's definitely for me one of the last, I feel, big sort of Van Damme films before he kind of went straight to DVD. But I really did enjoy this film, and I just thought it was about time I picked it up. Okay, so leaving those there, and 3 more to go, and these are some excellent Arrow releases here. And the first one up, we have Knightbreed, and again, this is a movie that I have so much nostalgic memories for. I watched this again as a kid back in the day. It's I believe it was a David Cronenberg directed film, and he also appears in the movie as well as the villain. Really cool horror film, quite unconventional, because what you think are the bad guys turn out to be the good guys. And it's just a really cool cult sort of early 90s movie. I think this film came out in 1990 or 91. Very, very early 90s movie. Really cool cult film. I definitely recommend everyone check out Knightbreed at least once. And this does have 2 cuts of the movie as well, which is really cool because there was some production issues with this film. I believe David Cronenberg was forced to cut bits from this film, so at least now he's finally got the version that he wanted released to some degree. But yeah, really cool movie. Definitely check out Knightbreed. And the next film here, going along with what I brought up before, the original Robocop film from Arrow. Now I had to buy this, man, because this is an excellent sort of collector's edition. It's got a brand new print. So, and I have this film multiple times. I think this is like the 3rd copy of Robocop I have on Blu-ray. I have the standard release, I have like a steelbook release, and which I think have different prints. So this is like a brand new print, which is really what was the selling point for me getting this. And again, it's loaded with different features. It's got 2 different cuts of the film. Yeah, definitely I wanted this because this is one of my all-time favorite movies. And yeah, I had to get this, and it's a fantastic package as well. Arrow do an amazing package. And finally, again with Arrow, I have Tremors, and again this is another one that I watched so much as a kid back in the day. It has to be said, I do love my creature features. I really do. I love my sort of like monster films. And this is a great one. It really is. I absolutely adore this film. It's one of the most rewatchable films for me. I watch it every time it comes on TV, and I just love it. So really tough to get this. Again, this is like loaded with content. So happy they gave this like a really decent release, because I'm not going to say it's underrated. It's not underrated. A lot of people are aware of this film, and it's a highly regarded film. But and I believe it was a success back in the day, because they're still making films to this series today, so it is a successful movie. But this original one is so leaps and bounds above the sequels. Yeah, just it's a timeless film, and I recommend, if you've not seen Tremors, definitely do yourselves a favour, guys, and check it out. So that is it, guys. That is basically all I've picked up. This is basically about a year's worth of pickups, guys. Like I try to be picky now with what I buy. I don't really go for a lot of new stuff now, just because I'm subscribed to quite a few streaming services, and I know that a lot of the new stuff gets put out. But I like to pick up the stuff that's mostly sort of fallen to the wayside, stuff that I don't really see much on streaming services, and that's what really I want to go for, especially obviously the stuff that appeals to me nostalgically. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you aren't subscribed, please sub to my channel. And if you haven't, please leave a like. Really does help my videos as well. Thank you everyone that's been leaving likes on my video, the last couple of videos I've made. Thank you so much, guys. It really does mean a lot, because like I say, YouTube is a bit funny with the algorithm, and sometimes I feel that my videos get kind of lost in the shuffle. So anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. I will be back soon, so stay tuned, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.